Hi guys, Vino here and welcome to this Vino production and welcome to this time for a cuppa. That's a damn fine cup of coffee. Actually it's a cup of tea that I must say, actually it's not, it's stone cold. I'm just kind of using it to shoot this TFAC. How are you guys doing? Hopefully you're doing really well. I'm doing actually really good. Today was a really good day and that's kind of why I wanted to record this video, to be honest. So I don't mind admitting that in the past I've had some issues with dehydration. I'm not the best when it comes to keeping up with my water intake. I drink a lot of tea, coffee, Coke, that sort of stuff, but I don't drink a lot of straight up water. For the last month or so, I've been trying to get up or keep up with my water intake. And every morning, as much as possible, I've been waking up and drinking a pint of water every single morning. And then when I get home at the end of the day after work, I drink another pint and then I drink more water as the day goes on. So today when I woke up, I felt especially blur and not really feeling that good. So when I woke up today, I decided to have 2 pints of water rather than the standard 1 pint of water. About 20 minutes to half an hour later, I felt like I was ready to take on Mount Everest. I don't know what it was, but for the last few weeks, I've been feeling this head fog and just feeling very lethargic, tired, all that kind of stuff, the typical stuff that comes with dehydration. But this morning when I decided to down 2 pints of water instead of my standard 1 pint of water, I just felt, as I said, ready to take on Mount Everest, like I could take on the world. And today just went really good. But it has a knock-on effect. So for the last, I don't know how many months it's been, I haven't had much motivation, I haven't had much enthusiasm to do things because I've been tired all the time. And I didn't know whether it was something wrong with me medically or it was something more severe. I just think it was severe dehydration, and I just think it's taken a bit of time for me to get back on track when it comes to that dehydration and getting myself hydrated once again. And maybe the answer is to drink a couple of pints of water in the morning rather than a single pint. I think what it was is I was firefighting. So what I was doing, I was drinking the bare minimum and not replacing fluids that I lose. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I suffer from IBS. And because of that, I lose a lot of liquid. I'm not going to go into too much detail than that. But I haven't been replacing that liquid, I'll be honest. You're supposed to have a glass of water every time the thing happens. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail. If you know, you know, sort of thing. And I haven't been doing that, to be honest. Today, I made a conscious effort to make sure I kept up with my water intake. So what I think has been happening over the last X amount of time is I've just been firefighting. I've been replacing the water I've lost, but not adding onto my reserves of water, basically. And I think today was the first time that I actually gave my body enough water to then do it. It's almost like when I had those 2 pints of water this morning, that my body was like, he's just giving us enough water to, like, you know, get everything up and running. And I have to say, things like feeling tired, feeling hungry and certain things like that, it's almost like my body activated. It's really weird. Once I'd had those 2 pints of water and my body just went almost like it booted up. And all that kind of stuff. As I said, I felt like I was on cloud 9. So long story short, I'm now going to keep up with obviously that water intake, keep up with my water intake, and hopefully as time goes on. We are now moving into spring here in the UK, and I will say that I do have, I don't know if it's seasonal depressive disorder, I don't know if it is, or seasonal affective disorder, I think it's also known as. But when we transition from one season to another, I do feel myself in a bit of a funk. sometimes. So I thought me not feeling too good for the last few weeks was that funk sort of thing, but could be that, could be the dehydration. They could be both connected. Who knows? But I feel that I am on the tail end of that now, and I'm moving towards feeling a lot better, which means I now have the motivation to do a lot more things, which includes the board games that I've been buying left, right, and centre, and there's more board games coming, by the way. So this weekend, I am going to be doing it this weekend. I'm going to be playing through, or playing a couple of scenarios of Deep Madness, probably a bit of Dawn of Madness, which is to my left here, and then playing these Faces of Sphere expansion, which is the interstitial between the two, as I keep saying, and some of the more easier to play, easier to set up games like Maximum Apocalypse and those sorts of games. I'll be playing those as well. So on the subject of more games that are coming this way, I have another game that I'm buying in the month called The Great Wall, and I'm going for the mega bundle, I think it is. So the person I bought Dawn of Madness off of, I've said this before, but anyway, the person I bought Dawn of Madness off of is getting on a lot of games at the moment, and they did have in a separate listing The Great Wall and Senjutsu. They sold Senjutsu, and they actually sold that version of The Great Wall. They did say to me, I do have another version of The Great Wall, but I'm reticent to let it go for, you know, not a decent bit of money. I said, what would you like for it? We settled on a price, I gave them the deposit, and I'm going to be buying that at the end of the month. I then got in touch with another seller after the whole shenanigans of Elden Ring, which I spoke about on my last video, where the person essentially tried to shaft me, I feel. I got in touch with another seller that was selling Final Girl. Now, I've wanted Final Girl ever since I started getting into single player board games and into board games, and into that whole community, so to speak. Final Girl came up pretty quickly in my searching, because I was like lapping up board game content on YouTube, basically. Final Girl came up pretty quickly, and I very quickly realised that I think I'd really like Final Girl. If you don't know what Final Girl is, there's a core game, and then there's movie packs. Basically, you've got to buy the core game and a movie pack to play the game. There's a movie pack that's themed after Friday the 13th. There's one that's themed after Nightmare on Elm Street, one that's themed after Alien, one that's themed after The Thing. So basically, and the whole point of it, you are the final girl that's trying to save as many people as possible. There are fail conditions, there are win conditions, all that kind of stuff, and I've really wanted the game for quite some time now. Well, I've managed to secure a copy of it by sending someone a deposit. They're keeping it hold of it for me, and that's going to be fantastic when that finally arrives. If that wasn't enough, something else is on the horizon. So as of next month, April the 12th, my brain wants to say, if that's correct. It may or may not be. But in April, Steamforged Games are launching another crowdfunded campaign on GameFound. Those of you that remember last year, I was actually backing a couple of games on GameFound, but decided to back out of those in the end due to several reasons. But one of the games that Steamforged Games are going to be releasing is Helldivers 2. So they're launching I keep trying to say Kickstarter, it's not Kickstarter. They're launching a GameFound campaign, or a crowdfunded campaign on GameFound for Helldivers 2, the board game. It comes perfectly. So not only will it probably be a 30-day campaign, which means that will end in May at some point, but as I keep saying, at the end of April, my disposable income increases quite significantly. So I will be able to stick to the monthly payments that hopefully I'll be able to pay for Helldivers 2 with. So there's a lot of board games coming in the very near future, or the next few months. So stay tuned for those, because they will be featured on this channel. And that stack of games behind you, it was also going to feature on the channel, you know, Deep Madness, Endure the Stars, Bloodborne, Zombicide, Maximum Apocalypse, Seventh Continent, Edge of Humanity. There's even a game down here, Galaxy Defenders, which is like a better version of XCOM, basically. So it's really funny, Galaxy Defenders. So the developer and publisher of this game wanted to do XCOM, and ironically they got the rights to XCOM after releasing this game, I think, if I remember correctly. But anyway, they wanted to do XCOM but couldn't. They actually have done a better game than there was an XCOM board game as well, ironically, but they've actually done most people prefer Galaxy Defenders over the XCOM game. They feel that they've actually done a better version of that, basically, but they had to use a non-copyright infringing name, hence Galaxy Defenders, because the concept of XCOM is as old as gaming in general, not just board gaming, but video gaming and all that kind of stuff in general. So yeah, a little bit of a tidbit about that. But yeah, and I've got a Sanctuary here. That's a really quick, easy to set up and play game. And of course, Dawn of Madness, which I got very, very recently. But yeah, just wanted to come at you guys and give you a bit of an update on my own health, so to speak. And, you know, that now, hopefully, if that now continues, I can keep up the level of the level of health and keep up, what's the word, the enthusiasm and motivation, then I'll be doing a lot more. But until next time, guys, please take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Ta-ra!